Joined this evening with Graham Cottington from the British Transport Police. Graham, I understand some research has shown.
Yeah, the research that we got, we interviewed in actual some children between the ages of 11 and 16, and it was quite remarkable what they come out with, because what we did was we explained to them initially what we considered to be trespass and what we said was vandalism, and we showed them the difference between the two, and then we put a survey to the children, and over 40% of those children admitted to have committed acts of trespass, have actually been on the railway track, or they've actually committed acts of vandalism. And when we talk about vandalism, we're talking about placing objects on the track, dropping things off the bridge, throwing things at the train, which, although don't sound so serious, it does carry a very severe penalty. And if you derail a train, obviously you've got the possibility of some very severely, some high numbers of fatalities. Yeah. So once we explained that to those children, they were quite taken aback. But 40% of those children interviewed, about 20% of them said they'd taken a shortcut across the tracks, and that can either be from platform to platform. That can either be if they're walking up a road and they see that some friends on the other side of a field, they will cross the track to get to their friends without realising what they're doing. About 15% of them said they'd thrown something at the train or actually onto the track in the path of a train, and about 10% of them had placed something onto the track so that the train would hit it. And the comments that came from the base of that research was that most of the comments said they had nothing else to do, so they were bored. A lot of them said my friends actually wanted me to do it, so it's a little bit of peer pressure and a little bit of getting someone. And what we find is that with these people that egg people on, encroach them into the railway line, it's not those that get injured, it's the person that doesn't really understand. And we even had one or two that even said that they did things on the railway track because it was exciting. We all know, we've all seen the dangers around building sites and around waterways, all those kind of accidents, but on the railway track it's equally, if not more, dangerous. So that just gives you an idea of some of the research that we got back from some of these, and they were very open about it. And the reason they said it, they did it, a lot of them didn't understand the dangers, they didn't know the dangers, they didn't know the current was on, they didn't know the voltage, all those kind of things. So the survey proved very, very beneficial for us, for me, pertinently, going to schools and aim my presentations at that age group and explain to them what they were doing.
Graham, there are a couple of things you just wanted to remind parents.
Yeah, parents and young people alike, because if we can remind the parents to talk to their children and just express their feelings about what they're doing. But as I said before earlier on in the interview, the electricity is never turned off. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and even though there are no trains coming and there's no movement on the track, that electricity is still in that electric rail. We've got two voltages within the country. We've got AC and DC, and AC stands for alternated current, and this is the current that we have in our home. This is the daily current that we use for the kettles, microwaves, televisions, everything. And if you get an electric shock from alternated current, it will give you a shock, but it will actually it will push you away. The difference between that is that with alternated current being in the home, on the railway line we use a direct current, DC, and we use 750 volts on the railway line, and the difference between AC and DC is that the DC will actually pull you onto it, and if you come into contact with that third rail, the electric rail, the live rail, it will actually make you stick to it. So it won't only just electrocute you, it's like touching a hot iron. It's an immensely a strong burning sensation, but it's killing you at the same time. So it's just to remind young people, and although that the system that we use in our own home is only 240 volts, on the railway track we use 750 volts of direct current. It is immensely powerful. Now on the Eurostar, they're slightly different. On the Eurostar and on the high-speed link, we have overhead cabling, and that carries a voltage of 25,000 volts. And this is the electricity that can jump out at you. So if you entered the track area and raised your arm above your head, it's highly likely that the electricity would actually jump out of the wire into the human being. We've had it with animals, we've had it with people that have got too close. So it's 25,000 volts on the overhead lines, 750 volts DC on the ground. We are unique in this part of the country. Throughout the southeast and Kent, all our electricity systems run on the ground. We do have some diesel tracks. If you go out from Ashford down to Hastings on the diesel line, they are unique railway stations, they are unique railway lines, but up in this part of Kent, certainly on the island, it's all third rail. We want people to report people seeing on the railway. If someone sees, a parent sees or hears stories about what their children are doing, and we all know children can exaggerate a little bit, they've seen something and they then flower it out to make it, you know, sound as if it's real or acceptable. If parents hear of talk about children going on the track, or they see someone on the track, we have a national police force, emergency 9, obviously 999 if they see someone doing something. 999 is a standard response number. Our 24-hour report line is 0800 40 50 40. Quite simple to remember, 0800 40 50 40. It's a free phone, it's 24 hours a day, it goes directly into our control room, and you'll get an instant response from that number. So it's 0800 40 50 40, and that information will be passed straight to our control room. So it's not just about the parents, it's about young people taking responsibility for what they're doing, being careful, thinking about their friends, looking after their peers. You know, don't be caught out by your peer group asking you to do something that perhaps you wouldn't do if you were on your own. And it's all about looking after your child, knowing where your child is, and just keep double checking every now and again. Don't forget, I don't want you to go anywhere near the railway line. Simple comment like that, it just reaffirms that into that child's head, that they know, that you know how dangerous that could be. And that's all we ask for parents to do, just know where your child is.
What useful contact details do you have for our listeners? Okay,
well, obviously I said the free phone number for the British Transport Police is 0800 40 50 40, 405040, nearly forgot that, 40 50 40. We do have a website as well. The British Telecom, British Transport Police do have their own website, btp.com, which people can go on to. And bearing in mind that if someone was to forget that, they could always go into the internet, put in the police. The police will come up with all the different police forces, and click on the BTP link, and that will take you straight into the British Transport Police. For any listeners that may be working in schools, any teachers or classroom assistants who think they may like an input on rail safety to their pupils, to remind their pupils of the dangers, we do have a teaching zone, and that is www.teachingzone.org/BTP. You can go into the Teaching Zone website, and that will come up with all of my contact details at London Bridge, and I will come out to Kent. I cover the whole of South London, from Hounslow round to Dartford, Kent, Surrey, Sussex, Hampshire, Dorset and the Isle of Wight. So I'll come out to Kent, Sheerness, wherever there's a listener, and I will come out to that school, and I will do a presentation, show films, do workshops for the children, and get them into the mindset of safety. So it's the btp.com, teachingzone.org, and from that teachingzone.org they could also download resources, videos and other very interesting facts and resources for their children in school. And I think really that's about it. My telephone number for any listeners is on the website, so if anyone wants to go into the website, all my details are on there, my contact details at London Bridge, and my telephone number. They can drop me an email with my email address is on there. Drop me an email, and I'll respond, and hopefully I can come and visit them in their own school and talk to their children to keep them safe.
Graham, once again, I'd like to thank you very much for coming to us here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show.
That's thank you, Daniel, for the invite, and I look forward to coming back and perhaps covering another subject later on in the year.
No doubt we'll see you soon. That's Graham Cottington from the British Transport Police, covering some of the dangers of playing on or near the railway.